So imagine you're driving your car and you ask Siri or whatever AI assistant you're using to take you to that important destination. You follow the instructions, you're turning left, you turn right, you go straight ahead. And you're driving for hours. But when you arrive, you're in the wrong place. Why? Probably because you put in the wrong address. The data to start with was wrong. Now, if you think about that in your business, think about your business, think about that context. AI, automation, analytics, all of these kind of systems that we're using nowadays, they're like that GPS. Very useful, but only useful if the data we're feeding into them is accurate, it's consistent, and it's complete. If not, it's going to give us the wrong answer. It's going to take us to the wrong destination. Bad data equals bad decisions. And there's something else I'd like to add. I think it's equally important. Even if we have the right data, the decisions may not always be correct, because data alone is just not enough to give us what we need. How do we know that the address is where we needed to go for the thing that we needed to do? Data alone won't tell us that. It's great. It's a great tool for decision making, but it doesn't replace experience, intuition, or strategic thinking. When we have good data, it can tell us what's happening, but it's not going to explain why. You'll have to do something more to understand why. Data, it can help us to identify trends, but it's up to us to interpret that data, interpret the trends, to align it to the bigger picture. Data can help us to provide insights, but our gut instinct, managerial expertise, that's the thing. We bring context, we do the risk assessment, and it's that human judgment that we bring, which actually, that's the magic. Have you ever seen a report and it says one thing? The data says one thing, but your experience, your gut tells you something else. And I think it's important to keep hold of that, because the numbers don't always capture nuance. That comes from leadership, comes from experience, and it comes from within. You have that inside you. We should move away from being data driven and become data influenced. Use the data because it is powerful, especially if it's correct, but be influenced, not driven. We've got to ensure that that data is correct, and no decision should be made if the data is faulty, it's siloed, or it's outdated. If that's the case, we have to rely on our intuition and our judgment. We need to balance the data with our experience. And we use things like analytics to inform, not to dictate. We should not forget critical thinking. Anytime you see data, ask yourself, does it make sense given my context, given my reality? Use the data to measure efficiency, but remember, it's not going to capture elements like your culture, your motivation. It just can't do that. How are you making decisions using data? How much of it is following the data? How much is it your judgment? Let's discuss.